Before we have to close, I wanted to raise something because I watched The Apprentice last night, which I don't normally do, and I don't know why. I think it might be because I'd previously read an article, which I sent round to the other guys here, called Arrogant Moi, Investigating Narcissists' Insight into Their Traits, Their Behaviour and Their Reputation. Now, this, of course, comes from the Journal of Self and Identity. I don't know whether you picked it up in this week's edition, did you?
I missed it every week.
Just missed
cover
it.
to
Oh,
cover.
You missed it?
It's all the time, can't do it.
Slipped past that.
Now, it just struck me that on The Apprentice, you tend to think, these guys that try and push themselves forward, and I'm always banging on about this. This article relates that braggarts, an interesting word, who hype their own achievement and derogate those around them that we think that they can fare well in new situations because their confidence appeals and they might achieve high status at first, but they're saying here that longer-term evidence suggests that they're actually harmful to themselves and others.
Yeah.
They're a pain to be around, and I think I've seen some of that with the teamwork last night I saw on The Apprentice.
Yeah, very much.
The question this guy raises, I don't know whether it's a man or a woman, but anyway, this researcher raises is, why do they persist? Why do they carry on? Do they not realise they're being a pain?
No, I think they're so arrogant they don't care.
That's the conclusion of the paper, is it? Exactly.
Or they could just be stupid.
Oh, yeah,
Back to stupidity.
The laws of stupidity. Maybe it should be a fifth law.
I think the question to the panel then would be, would you employ anybody from The Apprentice?
Ooh. As a what?
Yeah, employ them to do what?
Work alongside you.
Yeah. Okay,
Work alongside you because apparently they're all amazing.
I have to say, I stopped watching it a couple of years ago because they're not all amazing. They, as a generality, they really, I nearly said something then, they really annoy me. And because they've got a bizarre perception of what work is about. And I guess, what it all comes back to is the old Big Brother saying, it's only a game show.
Yeah. Well, it's perception. I mean, it's a show, isn't it? On the box.
Yeah.
It's got to be sold around the world. So you get these guys who think and girls who think they're important. They're basically non-entities.
So when they stand there and they go, I'm the best salesperson in the world, I'm amazing, and then they get the sales task and they don't sell anything at all.
Aren't they?
So the point they make here is that they don't care.
They don't care.
But they do think that it's going to help them get on. That's what the researcher said, that they seem to perceive their narcissism as a great get-ahead trait. It will bring them personal gain and show personal strength.
Right,
but they don't care.
Okay,
it doesn't work.
Okay, but are you talking about? Okay, but are you talking about on the program or in real life?
I'm talking about in real life. This research is not about the Apprentice program.
Yeah, and in real life there are people like that, and I think that they think that if they say it often enough, people will believe them.
I think they are saying it often enough to convince themselves half the time, aren't they?
Potentially, yes.
Watch out for these traits. That people with a self-focus, problems sustaining relationships, difficulty with empathy. You're sitting thinking, do I know anybody like this? Hypersensitive to insult or criticism, and vulnerable to shame rather than guilt. Do you remember we were talking about guilt as making better leaders last time, rather than people who are shamed? So that's
interesting.
narcissism for you again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are coming to